Greetings, folks, and welcome to Command Modern Air Naval Operations. I'm Ebereg, and this is the South China Clash scenario. Well, not quite. There are two of them, and they're basically the same, and I had to do a database update and update several individual doctrines, but yeah, it's the South China Clash scenario. So, basically, PRC is asserting its control over the South China Sea. US and the Philippines aren't too happy. So, things might escalate just a bit. So, the Chinese fishing flotilla is escorted by a lone CCG Zhongnu frigate, Chinese Coast Guard, strong PLAN task group consisting of a Type 52C Liu Yang 2 destroyer, two Type 54A Zhangkai 2 frigates, and a single Type 56 Zhangdao corvette. Numerous PLAN submarines are known to be at sea. PLAN and PLAAF air assets are operating from Woody Island and the Paracels and Hainan Island. So I have the Halsey, the Freedom of Fort Worth, and the Hawaii, as well as several aircraft. And I'm to use the forces in the region to best position Philippine naval forces to challenge any naval incursions by the PRC. If a conflict does erupt, you are to destroy all hostile forces at no loss to your own. Execution at your discretion, and on State B, limited missions. Let's do this. So, getting into this, it says limited emissions. I'm going to keep the emissions on the Halsey, radar and sonar, but I'm going to turn them off on the LCSs. Now, the Fort Worth and the Freedom. Now, the LCSs are basically worthless. They don't have any anti-air or anti-shipping capability. They're just there to draw fire, basically. So I'm going to move them into range of the Halsey. I'm going to move the Halsey forward at cruise speed. Now this is in a Triton. I'm going to need it to have its radars on. And move it over here. And I'm also going to set up a few missions. First one is here. Select these reference points, add new mission, call it Sub-Hunt. It's not an anti-surface warfare, an anti-submarine warfare patrol. And I noticed that the Halsey has two Seahawk, one with Hellfires, one with an anti-submarine loadout. We're going to add the one with an anti-submarine loadout. And we're going to turn off the one for orbital. Don't investigate contacts off the patrol area or within weapons range. Mission doctrine. Don't want to blow up any fishes, so I set the ASW doctrine to tight. And set the radar and sonars to active. So, let's go to Halsey again. Cruise. So I'm going to tell the Halsey to launch the Seahawk with Hellfires. We're going to need it. I'm going to tell the Hawaii Virginia class sub to move over here at cruise speed as deep as possible. It's going to have plenty of radar help. And Cadena, you have some P3 Orions with Harpoons. We're going to launch all of them. Oh, and the other missions. So anyways, I noticed we have some strato tankers to help with refueling. So we're going to move the first strato tanker orbit here. And add new mission, call it Near Fuel Supply. It's a support mission. And we're going to add 4 strato tankers to it. Now let's select these reference points. Add new mission for fuel supply. It's a support mission. And add these 4 strato tankers and make sure the radars are off on both fuel supplies. They are. So we're going to go here, look at the aircraft, and I noticed there are a bunch of Poseidas with slammers. We're going to launch them all. And unpause time and see what happens. So I noticed that the Halsey doesn't have that many anti-shipping capabilities, and we're really out of position. I just hope the Filipinos realize that if anything bad happens, I'm not going to be able to help them. So let's turn off fuel state RTB on this Seahawk because it's gonna need it. The Seahawk here. Let's speed up time just a bit. Okay, the Orions have taken off. Let's get these Orions down here. And let's get these Orions up here. And let's... Okay, we have some vigorous dragons. So while they're up, let's look at the doctrine and weapon release authorization. So the Halsey has SM6s, but if you've looked at my previous videos, you'll know that range is a bit of a double-edged sword for SAMs. So we're going to set the engagement range to 100 nautical miles instead of maximum range. And do the same for helicopters. So let's go back to Singapore Air Base and launch all of my Super Hornets with slammers. Oh, and the Filipinos have launched in maritime patrol aircraft. So let's look at the Super Hornets, go to unit orders, refuel as possible, select tanker manually and get them to refuel from this one and pat them. And let's go. Okay, so Triton 3 has detected some shipping. Let's bring the Hawaii over to intercept them. And the Filipinos have just fired on the Chinese Coast Guard. God damn it, Philippines. So let's get this Seahawk to attack this guy with one Hellfire, just one. So yeah, I really can't save the Filipinos here. They're a lost cause. Okay, vampire detected. Where? Oh. Okay, so let's get the Halsey to turn off automatic evasion. In fact, let's turn off automatic evasion on all of the surface ships because they really don't need it. The U.S. has really good air defense. U.S. Navy. Okay. That was probably the submarine firing on us. Chinese do have a submarine with guided missiles. That was probably it. Okay, so I know these guys over here are the Chi-Coms, the PLAN surface group. But I'm not going to fire on them just yet. Okay, this Filipino Maritime Patrol aircraft has classified this surface contact. It's checking it out, which is a bit suicidal. And this thing is firing. Oh dear, I think these anti-shipping missiles are headed for one of the Chinese fishing boats. Okay, let's slow this guy down to loiter so he doesn't get too close too fast. And the Hellfire has hit. Let's fire another one. Malfunction. Let's fire another one. And let's fire another one. And let's actually slow the Seahawk down to hover and fire another Hellfire. Fire another one. And another one. And let's fire our last Hellfire. Yeah, this is the best we can do. Pretty Chinese Coast Guard vessel with Hellfires, at least at the moment. And the Seahawk has returned to base. Okay. So the LCSs are almost in line with the Halsey. Let's get them to move forward at a not flying speed at only 20 knots. And the Chi-Coms have launched their own MPA. So the Filipino Maritime Patrol aircraft has identified this guy, but it hasn't, but it's got shot down. And it knows this guy's range. So let's get these guys to allocate 4 harpoons, because that's what the missile defense of this thing is, 4 harpoons. So let's actually, let's not do that just yet. Since this guy does have anti-shipping missiles, we want to stay out of their range so they don't deplete our air defenses. We only have 20 ESSMs at the moment. So, let's speed up time a bit. Okay, the NPA has probably spotted us by now, which means the Tricoms are going to go on the attack. We actually want that, as funny as that might sound, because it's going to make them more vulnerable to our next move. Wait, where'd that vampire come from? Okay, let's move the Halsey and the LCS back. Okay, so I wonder what that was about. So yeah, the Emilio Jacinto is attacking the Chinese Coast Guard vessel, which I don't think is going to end well for it, since this the Kinzhao is backing it up. Okay. Oh. Tricoms accidentally sunk another one of their fishing boats. Okay, bogeys detected by the Halsey. They're flying in pairs at 480 knots, so they are definitely hostile. Oh, and 2 more bogeys. These guys are also definitely hostile. Okay, these guys are engaged offensive against the Emilio Jacinto. That's move the line to intercept. And let's get the Halsey to launch all of its tomahawks at this radar station. And let's plot the course to here, then here. Now they're going to overfly the Chinese force. That's actually the point, since the Chinese comms will waste their surface-to-air missiles on the Tomahawks and not on the anti-shipping missiles I plan to shoot at them later. Let's look at these guys. They're refueling. Let's look at these guys. They're moving in. And let's pause time. Okay, the MLA had just seen to on the Chinese Coast Guard vessel are exchanging gunfire. And we are about to get attacked by flounders. Okay, MLA I just seem to have got destroyed. Okay, actually, let's repat these tomahawks to go here. No, let's repat them to go here and here, so that they will definitely. Okay, we just destroyed 2 flounders. Let's repat these tomahawks again. Go here and here. Yeah, that's one thing you can do with tomahawks. You can, for tomahawks, you can change where they're going, who they're going to attack. Their missiles, they turn away at high altitude. That's a big mistake. And our shipping vessels incoming. Okay, the tomahawks are about to fly overfly the Tricon surface group. And they're attacking them. Let's take a look at our Super Hornets. They've done refueling, they're moving. So let's tell them to refuel from the far fuel supply and repat them to here. tell Hawaii to go to creep, shallow depth, and tell it to attack the SIGINT station with all of its tomahawks, and tell it to pat them all over the Chinese Surface Action Group. Okay, it shot down all the tomahawks. Okay, the Seahawk with Hellfires is back up, so let's launch it. Over here, allocate a Hellfire to this Chinese Coast Guard vessel. And let's get the Hawaii back to as deep as possible. Cruise. Okay, this guy's going 25 knots. Let's go 25 knots ourselves. And now they're attacking the Tomahawks with their guns. That's actually a pretty good sign. So let's move this fighting closer. And let's get the Poseidons to attack these guys. Let's get 2 slammers on you, and 2 slammers on you, and 2 slammers on you. We got more flounders coming in. And a cub. Let's slow this guy down to creep speed. And the Y is identifying these guys with its sonars. I think some flounders just released their missiles. let's get these Poseidons to repass so they don't get within SAM range. Okay. So this guy is now attacking the Chinese Coast Guard vessel. Let's slow it down to loiter. Get another Hellfire in. And another one. And another one. And slow it down to hover. Last Hellfire. And let's actually modify its doctrine so it can RTB when it's out of fuel. And let's get these guys to attack this Coast Guard vessel with 4 harpoons. And let's get these guys to move over here so they can attack these guys in case any of them survive. And let's move the Halsey and the LCSs back forward at regular cruise speed. Oh wait, 20 knots. 20 knots. And those guys are all gone. So, let's break up these MPA groups. And assign them all to the sub-hunt. And let's get the Hornets to move here in case any of the E-ships survive the harpoon salvos. And actually, let's move the Hawaii down here at cruise speed. is the South China Clash scenario. You basically won at this point, but let's try to kill as many Chinese ships, Chinese planes as possible. And actually, let's tell these guys to turn to base at cruise speed. Okay, the Seahawk with Hellfires. Well, we're basically out of Hellfires. So let's arm it with LHTs, maybe a quick turnaround. Let's assign this, and assign this to the sub-hunt. And expand the sub-hunt mission. Slow these guys down to creep. Let's get the Y down here. And a Cub is getting just a bit too close. As I said, just a bit too close. There's another Cub getting just a bit too close. And another Cub is coming in. And that Cub is getting a bit too close. It's standing on deck. See, it's getting too close. I really want to get that sub. And a Goblin has been detected by the Halsey. Okay. So it's nowhere within range. Let's see what happens. It's going at 4 knots. Let's get this guy to deploy his dipping sonar. This Goblin's headed right for us, so let's make this hostile. And we just destroyed the sub. So let's get this guy to return to base. Let's get this guy to return to base. Let's deactivate the sub hunt mission and get all of these guys to return to base. And these guys are ready. So yeah, that was South China Clash. Let's end the scenario of minor victory, 1,300 points. I'll take it. So yeah, we didn't lose anything. Filipinos lost all their stuff, but they were a lost cause. And the PLAN lost a Vigorous Dragon, 6 Flounders, their SIGINT station, 2 Z9C Dolphins, 2 54A Zhangkais, a Helix, a Type 52C Liu Yang, a Type 56 Zhang Dao, 3 Y8X Cubs, and a Type 41 Yuan. And the CCG lost their Jiang Hu. So I kind of think this scenario is a bit too rough for losing units. You lose 200 points for losing a unit, and you gain 100 points for taking out an enemy unit, which I think is a bit too brutal. Honestly, it should be 100 points both ways, especially since the Filipinos are complete bloody idiots. So, yeah, that's that. This is Ebereg, signing off.